key example of a dauntless personality. Joan d'Arc was the daughter of a tenant farmer in the village of Dormany, located in northeastern France. Joan never learned how to read or write, but her parents instilled a deep love for the Catholic Church and its teachings. In this time period, the 100-Year War was being fought between the French and the British. At the age of 13, Joan began hearing voices in her head. She was determined that the voices had been sent by God to give her a mission of overwhelming importance. The voices of the saints told Joan of Arc to expel the enemies and to restore Charles VII as the King of France. In a private audience at his castle in Chivignon, Joan won the future Charles VII over by supposedly revealing information that only a messenger from God could only know. The details of this conversation are unknown. Joan d'Arc showed courage through these events. It took bravery to reveal the kingdom the knowledge she knew. In May 1428, Joan made her way to Vaucouleurs after the local majestic rejected her passage. She chopped her hair and dressed like a man. This is an example of being dauntless because she went for what she thought was right, no matter the challenges that come with it. Once she arrived on site, she was asked Charles to give an army to lead to Orleans. He agreed and, with his power, forced the British to retreat across the Loire River. After this, Joan of Arc was captured by Anglo-Burgons and ordered to some 70 charges, including witchcraft, dressing like a man, and the public trials were turned private. She was sentenced to be burned alive at the stake, and at only 19 years old, she died. Records state that almost 10,000 showed up to witness the execution. Joan of Arc was created a saint of France in 1920. Joan showed achievement by embodying religious devotion with great bravery that changed the course of French history. Joan of Arc is a prime example of dauntlessness because this displays her bravery at a young age.
Amelia Mary Earhart was born July 24th of 1897. After reading Divergent, I have concluded that Amelia would have been born erudite and have chosen dauntless. Amelia fits the dauntless persona because of her passion in women's rights and aviation. Her aviation career started at the very tender age of 16. In 1935, she was the first person, male or female, to fly transatlantic from Hawaii to mainland USA in a solo flight. At the very end of her successful career and very short life, she flew her biggest flight to date, the Atlantic Ocean. About 2/3 through her trip, Amelia Mary Earhart and her counterpart lost contact during radio transmissions. Then, after days of search missions, Amelia and her partner were named dead.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a well-known civil rights activist who was attempting to abolish all discrimination and to conquer the unfair segregation laws in the South. Martin Luther King Jr. was well known for his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." This speech changed many different aspects of how our society is today. The speech put the civil rights movement into the hearts and minds of Americans and beyond. In addition, he presented his beliefs through speeches, boycotts, bravery, leadership, compassion, and faith. Martin Luther King Jr.'s characteristics are an impeccable illustration of a dauntless leader. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15, 1929. Martin Luther King Jr. knew how to lead and inspire people to become involved in the civil rights movement. Some characteristics that he presented was bravery, leadership, compassion, and faith. Martin Luther King Jr. stood up for his beliefs when it came to segregation. Segregation is when people or things are set apart from others. Martin Luther King Jr., of course, did not believe in segregation because he was one that was segregated. At the heart of his speeches and actions, Dr. King believed that everyone should have equal rights. He always maintained loyalty to his principles, that men and women everywhere were created equally, regardless of color or creed. He was an influential reason why the civil rights movement was so powerful and the nation worked to end segregation throughout the states. Dr. King's speech, "I Have a Dream," contributed to his name of being Man of the Year by Times Magazine and to his Nobel Peace Prize. However, he lost his life trying to better the lives of African American people. Every year on his birthday, we honor his achievements by having a national holiday each January in his honor called Martin Luther King Day.
A German leader who fought for what he believed in, showing dauntless qualities, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler set an example of loyalty to his faction Dauntless. Born in April of 1889, Hitler was born into the Dauntless faction. He wanted to become a leader from the start. During the time Hitler was imprisoned, he wrote a book called Mein Kampf, or My Struggle in English translation. This book was of his beliefs and goals for Germany that would later be in process to regain German lands. Hitler was a little-known political leader who got into great strength and power. Hitler found a new beginning after World War I. He was awarded the Iron Cross, a medal for bravery, praising the Dauntless name and what we stand for. Joining Dauntless means becoming a part of a strong fighting family. Fight for what you believe in like Hitler did. Fight for